Copy of God's Word. And turning with me to our passage for this morning, back to the book of James. And this morning we come to chapter 4. So in the past few months, of course, we have covered the first 3 chapters. And what we have seen thus far in our study of the letter of James is that it is a very pastoral letter. And there's a reason for that. That's because James is writing to these group of dispersed Jewish Christian exiles as their pastor. And so there's a very pastoral tone to this letter. And as I was reading one pastor theologian this week, he says what we find in this letter is that James is very much a pastor. And in that call, in that role, he's also a very serious spiritual clinician. He's a spiritual surgeon. And he doesn't dilly-dally. He doesn't beat around the bush, and he's not afraid to get to the meat of it. He gets right to the point, and he does that for the good of his congregants. He wants to make sure that his point is heard, and it's heard clearly. We've seen that over and over again in these first 3 chapters, and we will see it again, especially in our passage this morning. So I want you to take notice as we prepare to read this. I want you to make sure you notice the seriousness of James's tone. Now, he's been serious throughout. I mean, he hasn't been, joking or a comedian. But here in this passage, we can almost hear that serious tone get more serious. Because what James is addressing in these 6 verses is a very serious issue. It's an eternal issue that he wants his listeners to listen to. He wants them to contend with. And I think what we'll see this morning is that issue that was so serious with them